All right. Just to verify, you can see my introduction okay. I am Scott Gonzalez. I'm the Training and Development Manager with Launch. As I said, we're the largest aviation recruiting firm in the nation. My background, I'm ultimately the Training and Development Manager right now. So I train the recruiters. I train everybody that comes in to recruit our aviation specialist or team, whether it's working with A&P, structures, avionics. We do advanced 10-week training. I'll kind of get into the reasons for it in a little bit. Our training is 10 weeks. Part of it is specifically for, learning what does an A&P mechanic do, what's an avionics tech do, what does a modifications team do, all of those things. However, part of the reason we do so much extensive training is because we take a different approach to recruiting. It's not just a matter of giving somebody a call, shoving them in a job. We take a consultative approach. So they do, our team does go through an extensive 10-week program before they're really up and running and recruiting on their own. I myself am an Army veteran. I have a master's in finance. I've been to 36 countries, used to be in military intelligence. I've worked with Launch as a recruiting team manager. I've worked doing professional recruiting previously. I've been an account manager dealing with our sales team before. But all anybody ever wants to ask me about is either one, military intelligence and secrets, or the fact that I actually used to play professional poker for about 12 years. So everybody gets pretty excited about that. So feel free giving us a call and we can discuss that for a little while. And if you go to work for us, I'll actually give you some tips on how to beat the casinos. But other than that, I partner with aviation experts, whether it's somebody that's been in the industry for 20 years, if it's somebody that's been with the company, in aviation for 1 year with Delta or Boeing. My job is to partner with them, find out exactly what they want, what they're looking for, and then ensure our team is recruiting properly for them. Not just the client, but for the candidate themselves, the person going to work. At Launch, we work in a lot of different areas. We can't have 400 different openings with all in one sector. We really specialize in MRO and OEM work. Our biggest client is an airline, Delta. We work with Delta throughout the nation. Right now, I think we have 8 different sites opened up for Delta. I checked right before I logged on, and then I saw one of them closing up, I think in LAX. But airlines are our number one or largest clients. Boeing's our second largest. OEM manufacturing, we work extensively with Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Gulfstream. MROs, I do have a slide in a minute that you can see all the extra places that we do work with all the MROs throughout the nation. You're actually very close to a mass amount of MROs in Arizona. That's probably the largest quantity of any state. It'd be between Arizona and Florida. We do different types of operations, whether we do modification teams, we do contract work, contract to direct hires. In our database currently, we have about 500,000 mechanics and techs. Like I said, we do specialize in maintenance and modification teams. Our modification teams, or if you've heard of modifications, usually the fastest way, not fastest way, but the easiest way to make the most amount of money. It's a different type of pay structure. We have 400 clients. It's actually, I think last I checked, we actually have 515 clients nationwide. 400 of them are active currently. Some of them, since the start of COVID, we just haven't heard much. They haven't been growing at the rate they used to. Some of our assets to kind of help our company stay, or why we've been able to stay so strong during COVID while aviation was struggling in general. We do have a 145 repair station certificate, which we use with our modification teams. We have joint ventures with Delta and a joint venture in China. We work with secret clearances. We are authorized to do DoD secret facility clearances. And then we have what's called a Working Heroes program, which is structured for our veterans just getting out of the military. Get out of the military in the last 3 or 4 years. It's something that you might not necessarily have an A&P license, but we can get you to work to learn how to work on either commercial or regional aircraft to expand on your current career. How we operate is we have our recruiting team. As I mentioned, we do a 10-week training program. It goes longer. This week alone, I've already been training people going over Delta again. We've been covering things like per diem and how people get paid, their tax-free structure of their salary. We do different types of training throughout somebody's entire career with Launch. We also do, once that's done, our recruiters do get on the phones and we'll start making calls, or they'll check anybody who's been looking on JS Firm, or anybody that calls into our site, applies directly. They'll talk to the candidate, and this is where the consultative approach really takes place. It's not about, hey, we've got this job to sell you. We've got a job in Indianapolis. Well, I live in California. It's not overly helpful. Thanks. This is where, they're really trained and they learn about all of our clients. They learn about, if we have 400 clients, it's through, I think it's 48 states right now, 3 different countries. What do you want to work on? They take that consultative approach of, are you looking to get in DoD work? Are you looking to work in certain states? Do you not want to leave California? Are you looking for the most money possible? Immediately they're all going to say, I've got a job in Chicago, pays $30 an hour. All you need is an A&P license. We'll get you in 2 weeks. Are you looking to work for airlines? Are you thinking, are you playing chess with your career and you're thinking 5-6 years down the line, 10 years down the road? Hey, we can get you into Delta, but it might not be at LAX or SFO. They want to work with you and figure out what you're looking for. What kind of career do you see yourself? But also they learn about the country in general. What's aviation look like? What do airlines look like? What are the business standards? What are the practices? Why is it that the major airlines are going from commercial to regional aircraft? What does the 737 MAX have to do with the economy? How does that affect aviation in general? They can talk with you about that. They can go through all of these details with you, talk to you about where you see your career, and see if we're even able to help you. Sometimes it's just not going to be a perfect fit. Maybe what you're looking for isn't best, or it doesn't fit what we have. But we can certainly work it out with you and do the consultative approach. We also like to build relationships. Even if we don't have something perfect right now, we may have something for you in a year. If you say, oh, I only want to work at Delta at LAX, well, we can make a note in our system and we're going to give you a call when Delta opens up. Provided the resume fits and everything looks good, we can give you a call. We can't guarantee anything, but we can at least get the process started. Once they give that conversation or have that conversation with you, if you're interested in a position with us, they're also going to look at your resume and discuss some tweaks that we should do to your resume, if there are any. Making sure all of the schooling that you've done, everything that you have done related to aviation, is on your resume. Did you work for 6 years at Home Depot before you were in school or while you were in school? We need to make sure it's on your resume because that shows longevity. It shows you're driven, that you're working through school, whatever it is. Do you have a good GPA? We want to put you in a place that you're going to be successful, regardless if it's with us, with another company, but they're going to walk you through and kind of talk to you about your resume and make sure everything's a good fit. The employees will also talk about pay. Pay is a big deal, obviously, for everybody. There are some complicated features when you get into contracting, or if you're working with as a contractor, that you can get some tax-free money. If you get paid $30 an hour, half of your money may be tax-free. They'll discuss and educate you on that if you're not familiar or comfortable with it. They'll go through and discuss not only your pay, but we have a payroll department, a compliance department, a safety department that can help you through every aspect of finding a job. They build the relationships that once you start a job, you're not done with our recruiter. As long as you're working for launch, they're going to connect with you once or twice a week, whether it's to say, have a good weekend, find out how the kids are doing, to find out, if you have any vacations planned, making sure that you're happy where you're at. If not, is it time to, look somewhere else? Are we trying to move you from, you don't want to work in Victorville, California, you have family moving to Florida? Well, what do we have available? We want to professionally be able to move you from one location to another for what's best for your career. Again, they're highly educated in all of the locations we have. They're educated in what all of our clients are looking for. A client may say they want 5 years of experience, but they're truly taking 1 year. These are the things that they can discuss with you. We've kind of discussed a little bit of this before. What is it that Launch has to offer? We're the largest aviation recruiting firm. We work in MROs, OEMs, airlines. We have dedicated professionals that can get you ultimately wherever you want. They're going to discuss, what's most important with you. Is it money? Is it location? Is it your career in 5 years? Do you know what a Gen Fam is? They can discuss it with you. I did put a little shot of some of our clients, whether it's Delta, Lufthansa, ExpressJet. If you're talking airlines, MROs, we work with AAR, HAECO, manufacturing, we work with nearly everybody, Lockheed Martin, Boeing. Boeing's the biggest taker right now that's just looking for tons of people that we're putting a lot of people to work with. And then if you want to work rotorcraft, helicopters, if you want something smaller, if you like working on Cessnas, we have, I think, about 40 different FBO clients throughout the nation right now. And then also, DOD, if you want to work Department of Defense, we do have opportunities. And some of the things that they're going to talk to you about, some of our recruiters can discuss with you, is not just your career aspirations, but what would look good on your resume? How do you build your resume? What did school look like for you? What have you done while you're in school? What have you done to get your hands on aircraft? And then discussing with you, what is the client looking for? Yes, you may have DOD experience, but our client in San Antonio is desperately looking for people with DOD experience. You can make more money. Is that more important to you? They want to work with you to make sure that what you want is what's being targeted. It's not a sales job for us, it's a communications job. Part of getting hired, like we said, where do you want to work? How much do you want to make? What are your long-term goals? Without knowing your long-term goals, it's hard for us to place you or put you into a job, because we don't want to put you somewhere you're unhappy. It costs a lot of money to start somewhere new. It costs a lot of money to change careers. So we want to make sure, if there's certain aircraft, do you always want to work on 787s? We've got 5 sites for you. Do you like to work on helicopters? 3 or 4 sites immediately pop to mind. It really depends kind of what you want to do. And that's the importance of anybody you talk to, whether it's our firm, another firm, any company. You want to make sure that they're talking to you about what your desires are, what you're looking for. Working at launch, we've discussed it. It's that consultative relationship approach. We spend decades with people on our payroll. We spend, 10 years growing somebody's career from their first job to, working at Delta for 4 or 5 years to going direct with Delta. We work with people who, start off, maybe making $18 to $20 an hour to now they're making $45 an hour or $4,000 per plane per week. It really depends what you want to do. That's what our team's going to work to kind of get you into place to put you in the right positions. I did want to put up some of my contact information in case you want to call or email me. You can certainly get in touch anytime. Email is usually the fastest way. I receive quite a few calls throughout the day, but if you email me, I will get back to you as fast as possible, or I will turn it over to an experienced recruiter to give you a call and kind of discuss any questions you may have. You can also go to launchtws.com, and that's our website, and it'll have a listing of majority of our jobs. I'd say it probably has about 350 jobs out of the 500 that we have.
Thank you so much, Scott. We have some questions in the queue.
Sure.
This is like 2 to 3 minutes notice. It's time to wrap up. But we have some wonderful questions from students in the queue for you.
Yes, from faculty, Frank, are there any specific software packages you need to know to acquire the job?
It completely depends on which position. If you're looking at a manufacturing job, especially if you have some experience, they will look at certain software that they'll like. But typically for most of our OEMs, MROs, airlines, no, it won't matter.
Another question from our faculty over in the aviation program, Paul. Are you required to join the union at the location you are assigned?
Not while you're contracting. If you go to a state that requires union, or if a company is union, once you go direct, they will expect you to join the union. But while you're contracting, absolutely not.
Any more questions? Okay. Well, it looks like it's time to wrap up, but this is big.